All right, I think we're going.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regular meeting of Lincoln County Board of Commissioners for February 28th. We'll start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
So we are not live streaming, right?
No.
So that does not need to be on.
Oh, well, they're recording this. It should be on. It's red.
Oh, it's red.
That
It's
means
just
we're on.
the opposite.
Yeah, means we're on.
That means we're on.
Cindy, are you back there? All right, we'll start this morning with, we're going to have to go into the Board of Equalization. So I will take us out of Commissioners and I will open the Board of Equalization this morning. We have no expected business, but we'll go over our minutes and such while we're in there. Commissioner videos. Oh, I finally found it. Okay.
Are they in here? I didn't see.
They should be under, in there, the minutes, yes. Oh, we have like a pile of commissioner videos. Okay. Maybe I'll just come around Lincoln County.
I didn't find anything in here, but
You're right.
I can remember nothing happened, so we can just put the date.
You're right. I don't see anything on there. Did you guys make the town hall meeting at all on Zoom?
No, I did not. How did that go?
Pretty good.
On the visual, yeah, I watched it from Twin Falls. Everybody at South Central Public Health District thought that was important, so we watched that.
On Saturday?
No, not Saturday. I'm talking about the one for Wednesday on the tax.
Oh, yeah. That was important, yeah.
Yeah.
Did everybody look at these?
No, I haven't yet. I'm still trying to let everybody know what we're doing.
So she sent us the notes, didn't she? Minutes?
Look and see if she did, because they're not in the folder.
Yeah, she sent them on the 24th. If I can open it, admissions.
minutes?
Oh, I'm reading them right now.
Is that road between Shoshone and Richfield all completed now?
No, where does it end? It ends just across the bridge there on the Littlewood,
It'll
by
go-
Marley.
It'll go again next spring, huh?
I hope.
It'll be nice when it's done.
It will be very nice. They've got dangerous road signs out between Richfield and Cary because it's gotten so bad.
Was it 12,000? Or was it 15,000 for the seniors for Richville?
12 and 25. Have you already seen this one, Commissioner?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
What day did you say she sent that?
The
4th, did you say?
24.
We're, no,
Oh, well.
just a few more minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
I'll leave this open just a few more minutes on the Board of Equalization and then we'll go.
You ready for the minutes?
Give me till 9:45. That's what we've got on the
that's
agenda
right.
because we're in
still in the
DOE.
other section, aren't we?
Yeah. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll give you something interesting to look at. Just one second here.
This was sent this morning. Do you have a printout of that?
Yeah,
what
Cindy
Richard sent?
Cindy just did it.
Because I'm having issues being able to open my attachments.
Okay.
I still have not found where I got any of that.
You have to?
No, I looked back on my notes, I listened to several of them, I have no clue where that 200 came in.
No clue on what?
Where that 233,000 overage, where I saw that.
Were you there the day that we crossed it off and paid the rest?
I didn't see it, I don't know what day that was though. I don't,
It's got to be in our minutes on the.
it was, let me think, there was a large sum of minutes, because it would have been a large accounts payable.
Oh yeah, it was $1 million.
Mhm.
We'd paid about $5, so it was like $1 million day on through on that. So.
But I never saw a breakdown of that 230.
I don't ever remember seeing it either, that's what I was questioning.
It was on that. We need to grab that. It was on the bill that they sent in, and I had crossed it out and said different discussion. Let's just.
Yeah,
do
but it
what
was just
you-
a total. It wasn't an itemized.
I think it had some breakdown, but I'll have to look.
Yeah, look, 'cause it would ease my mind to know.
Did you look through the? They sent you one of the report. You know, the slideshow that he showed us. Did you look at that? Because it had a breakdown in it.
Yeah, but that was the first time when he was here last week. That's the first time I remember hearing anything about the overage.
But it did have a breakdown in it. Commissioner Hubert was looking for a breakdown. It had it in there.
So question, when we were talking about all the ARPA, and where we wanted to spend the ARPA, no, it was with the sheriff's thing, with the sheriff move, we were talking about boring and going in conjunction with the city. So where exactly did they bore?
So they had to start boring from out here where the line comes in to try to get it to town.
From the tower out here? Or,
I'm not sure where the line comes in exactly, but it's out this way, out south of town.
okay,
So that's where they started boring. How far they got, I don't know. They did bore some of this in town up this, either this street or the next one going out that way.
but they didn't go by the sheriff's office, the
No.
new office probation and parole,
No, they went behind that building. So there's still
behind the new ETS point of sale office?
yeah, but I think that it went from the other side coming in there, up the alley.
Okay, so they came the alley this way
Yeah.
and in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's close, but it's not, it's to the
It's
city.
just not to anywhere near probation and parole.
No, and that's why they were going to check with some of the other people around to see if they wanted it now.
So have you seen a breakdown of the bill for the 233 for the boring?
Oh, for the boring? Well, I
Yeah.
think it's on there. Let me look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the greatest memory, but I'm just completely drawing a close budget. Do you know when they would have sent it? Or who would have sent it? Would have been Jacob?
Well, I'm not sure that we got that when they were doing it. I was just looking for a breakdown of the fees now. So hang on a second. Let me look to see what I got.
I usually file that stuff. I skimmed through that.
Just have them and say that. Send it up. Network test. Hey, Curtis, can you send over a breakdown, like an itemized of that overage for us? Well, let's see, I'm looking at the one in the presentation, and it really doesn't have a very good breakdown of the 233. That's what I'm looking for, is kind of a breakdown of that.
Or when it was originally sent.
Okay, thanks. No, but I need it in the next, before we go in at 10:30. Okay. All right, thank you. Bye. He's in another little meeting, but he will get to his computer and so. Here's this for you to look at also.
Yeah, I got that, but I haven't had time to look at it because I got it so late.
Pretty great deal, I thought. They were going to take it so much off of it. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I need more time on that, Rebecca. I want to look through this a little bit more carefully, but I'll bring it up at that point.
The
Did you get
big
all
D
of
one? Yeah, I've got the whole
I
big
need
pile
more
here.
time on that one.
Okay.
It just 2:30 on a Sunday afternoon doesn't fly for me.
I'm sorry.
I can't. I need more time.
Okay.
So.
You know, those kind of things are supposed to be coming from our office, and we don't have any people right now, so I'm sorry. It occurred to me last night that probably nobody had gotten anything, so I better send some stuff. So sorry about that. Usually it's supposed to come the other direction, but we're short-staffed. Okay, let's go out of BOE, and I'll take us back into the regular Board of Lincoln County Commissioners, and we'll do claims and minutes.
Do we want to approve the minutes for the other before we go out of it? There weren't any minutes because nothing happened.
Yeah, I don't have anything from BOE, so.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't know what.
Okay. I just read the minutes online that they sent, and so did Joanne. They looked pretty basic. I didn't see any.
Did you see any corrections?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to pay the Lincoln County accounts payable in the amount of $81,592.83, and just state the reason that this is so high at this point is because we made a $35,000 ICRIMP payment for tort and comp, and then we
For what?
Tort and comp.
Okay.
And then also there were 2 payouts, one for the Golden Year Senior Center, ARPA dollars to them to help them continue their business for $25,000, and Richfield Senior Center for the same thing for $12,000. So
Can you give me the full number one more time?
$81,592.83.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and second to pay the claims, amount of $81,592.83. Any other questions and concerns on those?
What about the roof at the care center? The leak that we had there, is it being taken care of? And
No, not at this time. Did you call that person?
yeah, the one here.
The mouse?
And I mentioned that you would probably call him on that.
Did you send me a number for that?
Yeah,
I gave him the number.
I don't even remember getting
that
the
was
number.
Mike. What's his name?
Did you?
You were going to call a previous commissioner to find out about who fixed the roof or who was a contact for the roof, right?
Yeah,
He thought Mast.
Mass.
I just
Mike
don't remember
Mass.
getting the number.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you still have that?
I don't know that I have it here. Let me check.
Because I could call him at break if we've got it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure
You
that
have
he
it?
was still here in
I don't
town.
have any idea who you're talking to.
Mike Mast. Number? Okay.
What's the name of the company?
I think it's Mast something, isn't it? Mast Roofing?
Mike Mass, yeah,
I know, but the company name, isn't it Mast Roofing?
I think so.
Let me Google it.
Okay. Oh, but anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
I got a motion in a second. Any other questions on the claims?
None here.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Here you go, Commissioner.
I don't have Mike's number in here.
Okay, I will make a motion to accept the minutes of the Board of County Commissioners for February 22nd, 2022.
Yeah, I
As
second the
presented.
motion.
Okay,
Just
we have
wanted to make sure I read the right ones.
We have a motion and second to accept the minutes as presented. Hearing no questions or concern, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. All right, we have 5 minutes before we go into action items here. Commissioner Hubert, there's a huge pile that goes with this. Do you want to just look at it a minute, or did you print your own?
Oh, is that the contract?
Yeah, it's very large. There's a couple
Yeah,
of
I
different
did
pieces
not
to it.
print all of that out.
That's some pretty small writing too.
With no glasses.
Yeah, that's rough.
One thing and I'm not ready to vote on this,
Okay.
because of, I just haven't had time to go through it. But I was happy to see that they would put a guaranteed maximum price on this.
Yes. Yeah, that's really nice. And then I also thought they were going to reduce the price significantly if the project went through of their portion of the contract.
Well, I have a feeling about the final price, but I'm not going.
Well, I'm a little worried today, right at this moment, with the Russian thing going on. I just got a message from one of my boys that does woodworking and everything that wood went up 40% in the last month, and they wonder if it's because of the Russian thing going on, and they're very concerned about lumber packages.
The builders that I talked to said that it was just a natural thing. It went down just a little bit, and they said months ago they were told to expect 40%. And it was before the Russian deal started.
Well, it's gone up
Yeah.
apparently 40% in the last month.
Yeah.
That and the trucking issue.
Trucking,
Yeah.
that's a big one
They
too.
just need to lift that and get our truckers back going.
But that's going to be problematic on anything that we have to build right now. Now, that's not saying that months in the future, once we got to that point, that it wouldn't have come back down. We just don't know.
Well, I thought they were delaying figures on that because they thought the price would come down.
They did think it would come down this time of year, but now with everything going on, I'm not sure that it will. But
Can
how
we
would
have the clerks give us a copy of those? Make copies of those for us.
Mhm.
My printer, the ink is getting kind of low, and I didn't have the black cartridge. I got all the colored ones, but
Yeah,
not
these
the
are very
black.
large. I don't think I'd want to print it at my home. So. I'd have been out of ink too. All right, I'm going to take us into action items. Our first action item is the South Central Community Action Partnership. We have a letter here from them. We had this letter before, and we looked on how much, and we've been paying them $1,500 a year. Did you check on that?
Am I supposed to check on it?
I just wondered since it was your board.
It's the same price.
And I did look up in our budget book, and we've been paying
Yeah.
$1,500 a year.
Okay, that's what that was for. Cindy wanted me to put this back into the thing to find out how much. Okay.
I just wanted to make sure you clarified that or anything, or you're good with the $1,500.
I'm good with that.
Okay,
If you looked
I'm
it up
good
and it
with
was
that.
in last year's budget, I'm sure we're.
that's what we've paid for the last 3 or 4 years. So, okay, go ahead and make a motion, Ray.
I will make a motion to pay the formal request for annual allocation to South Central Community Action Partnership in the amount of $1,500.
I will second that motion.
We have a motion and second to pay the donation to South Central Community Action Partnership for $1,500. Any questions or concerns on that?
None here.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes.
Excuse me for laughing, but
I love the stamp.
as soon as we say yes, while you hear that,
Okay. All right, we did get the CMGC information. We have kind of looked it over. It's really a long document, so it looks like we're going to put that to next week,
Please.
so that we can ask some questions and look that over some more.
And can we have Richard go over that too?
Mm-hmm. I definitely will. Just to make note, their project management fees came up to $22,974, which in effect I found very reasonable in itself. And then they were willing to give us an $18,500 discount if the project went through. So that was really great. But there's a lot to go over in these giant contracts.
I had a little bit of concern on the mileage on a lot of these things. I'm just wondering which mileage, whether it's just when they come over to meet with us, or is that going to be covered in the contractor's price? I would think that the contractor's price would include all that.
I believe that it does, but we can double check on that, but I believe it does. All right, well, let me just send that to Richard while we're thinking about it.
So did this come in, did you say this came into the office?
Yeah, but I dug it out last night because I was afraid nobody'd see it. Okay, I'm asking Cindy to do a copy for you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Good thing Richard's a speed reader. Okay, that was sent off to Cindy and Richard to get a copy and also have our prosecutor look at it. Put it on for next week. So, do you guys want to hear the stuff from the District 26 update meeting? They had a Zoom on Saturday. I took a few notes.
Yeah, I did not get in on that.
Okay. So, it looks like no budgets have been currently passed so far, which is a little concerning to me because tomorrow is March and they want to be out of there by the end of March. So no budgets have passed so far. One budget has failed, but nothing else has been passed. There seems to be a pushback against Senator Rice's tax proposal that we've all been talking about and listened in on because they felt it was bad for renters and low-income people because it really only affected homeowners. Homeowners got a giant property tax relief.
Which is not a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. So anyway, there was some conversation back and forth on that, as of course it would be. It has not been given a number yet, as it's still being rewritten.
And they are debating whether they have the authority to do that on their own or whether they're going to bring it before the public at the next election.
Yeah, they are debating that. It may not happen the words that I get from up there is that we should look for this happening next year. They may not get it all worked out this year. There's a lot of debate, different ways. However, very heavy hitters are behind it. So Moyle and Bedke and Rice are all behind this. As we know, those are leadership positions and heavy hitters up there, and they are pushing forward on this. Whether they'll get it done by the end of March, they don't think. Our leadership does not think so. Our representatives, but I guess that's so we'll have to watch that pretty close. They said independent voters are higher this year. There is a much more push to go independent this year, and they felt like the extreme lefts and the extreme rights have been pushing more people into an independent situation. So there was a little discussion on that. So there was a big discussion on whether you could pick up other people's ballots. There's a bill out there that wants to make it criminal for picking up other people's ballots. Let's say elderly, disabled.
More than 6 ballots or something.
Yeah,
like that.
if you pick up 6 ballots, it's a misdemeanor, and if you pick up 10, it's a felony. Our District 26 people were against that because they felt like if they were sealed, you know how they are, they're double sealed in the envelope is signed. They thought it was okay. Some people don't, but there was quite a discussion on that bill coming up.
And I can see a lot of difference in a rural community like ours and a densely populated area.
All you have to do is mail it in.
They what?
All you have to do is mail it in.
Yeah.
You can mail it in. Yeah. So anyway, quite a discussion,
Yeah.
both sides. It was very 50-50 kind of conversation on that one. Let's see. So Senate Bill 1336 has a competing bill on patient advocates. They had some discussion on how that was going to work. There was also Michelle Stinnett put out a bill. Apparently the tax commission has a list of all homeowners for the entire state, but they haven't shared it out, made it easily accessible with our assessors. So Michelle Stinnett had put in a bill that would require the tax commission to get with the commissioners or the assessors and make it very accessible for the homeowners list
Share
and find
that.
a search way so that they could go through so that they can match up the homeowners exemptions so much easier. All counties through a searchable tax database that would be easier for the assessors because they feel like there is a certain percentage of people that might have a home up in Bonners Ferry and a home down here and getting 2 homeowners exemptions.
How do they find that out now? Do you know? Is it
It's just
a
more
paper that's
difficult.
sent in?
Yeah, well, yeah, they send in their paper, but it's just more difficult to search it out and makes it so the assessors are a little bit handicapped on trying to find out if they have a lot of paperwork to go through to get there. And so they want to make a searchable database so they could just put in their names and it would just pop up what homeowners exemptions they had.
Would that would only be accessible to the
Assessors.
assessor.
Be very private, but it would make it a lot easier for them to do their job and know when they're giving a homeowners that it's fair. So anyway, I thought that was a good bill. Michelle is working on that. It's in the Senate side still. House Bill 511 is for bond elections, and it says that there has to be 11 months between bonds for you to try for bonds.
In other words, you have to wait a full year to run another one. Instead of running them back to back like schools, like the Shoshone tried to do. I think we were a year between ours, weren't we? Can you turn the heat down just a little? I think our heater is trying to love us.
I do too. So, they asked for thoughts on that. Any thoughts on that? Having to wait a year before you rent another bond?
No.
I'm
What was their reason?
undecided on a lot of that, but I really feel what's taken place is they're taking the money from the counties into the state, and they say we can tell you better how to spend your money than you can.
Just taking more local control away from us? Is that what you're...
And then I also think that the feds are taking the state's money, powers away from them. It's I don't know yet, but the way it's going, I have my doubts whether it's a good thing or not.
So,
Except for the school bonds, right? The school can run them more frequently, right?
yeah. So what I think it was Sally who commented, could have been Michelle, but one of those that commented that they were against this because sometimes it was a matter of advertising, and sometimes it would be like 55% for, and they didn't get to their 66, and the next time they would pass at 70% because when they failed, all of a sudden the advertising would go all over. They'd be on the news.
Oh.
More people would find out about it and understand what the cause was, and the next time it would pass. So I don't know. I don't really have too much of a thought on it right now, but that was one of them they were talking about.
Well, they weren't opposed to the second election, were they?
No, they were against the bill that says that you have to wait a year.
Yeah,
Is what our representatives were
and
against.
yeah.
They were just saying that sometimes it's a
see
matter of
that.
advertising
Yeah.
and letting people know what was really going on, and then next time they came out more enforced, either for or against.
Well,
They felt it was more of a
we waited a long time on our courthouse election because we were waiting on the school.
oh yeah, we waited plenty long. But they said sometimes it was a matter of not everybody knows and not everybody understands, and then if it fails, all the information gets out there, and either you have a huge push coming forward saying, yeah, it failed on purpose, we don't want that, or a huge push coming forward saying, we didn't understand and now voting for it. So that was kind of their thoughts. So.
Anybody want to have a local paper in Lincoln County?
Oh my gosh, we need it so bad. There is House Bill 527 is a very controversial one. It's allowing for only citizens for driver's licenses. Unless if they've got all the paperwork and everything, it shows their home country information on their driver's license instead of it shows their address here, but it also shows their home country information on their driver's license. So anyway,
Their
that's
citizenship.
so that's a bill going forward. That's 527.
But
There
I think
is-
that's already in effect to an extent. Because I was right here when one was issued, and I said, does it tell you what citizenship you have? And they said yes. So I don't know.
Maybe we do it here in office, and other places don't, but this one would make it mandatory for
All of them to be consistent.
all of them. So 581 is something about the vaccine status, non-requiring vaccine status. 631 is the prohibition of mask mandates. They felt this was a little bit of a local issue, taking away local control. They thought they should leave that locally on that one. 601 is a bill that says there is in-person visitation for elderly care, and you can't block them out during times of like COVID and this kind of thing. They felt on this bill there was a lot of discussion on how to handle that bill and how it was written, because obviously in times if the whole place is filled with COVID and there's stuff going on. They obviously need to keep it closed down, but on the other hand, the elderly really suffered without patient advocates, and so Michelle is writing up one for patient advocacy where they could at least have, she either is writing it or it's in, where they could at least have one person for doctor's visits, and you would follow all the protocols, like you'd mask and gown and everything. But she says so many of these people don't understand what the doctor's saying, that she doesn't want to throw it wide open to visitation, but she feels like somebody should be there for every doctor's visit and important things like that. I have to agree. I think
I don't know
somebody should be
whether
there.
that'll make much progress or not.
I don't know. Anyway, that's out there right now. There is one looking to ban, I didn't write down the number, I'm sorry. There's a bill looking to ban ballot collection boxes. It's been introduced, maybe it doesn't have a number yet. It's been introduced. There's never been any Idaho proof that our ballot boxes have been corrupt, but there's a bill out there.
Back to the one that Michelle is drafting, telehealth, at least
Oh, yeah.
do telehealth if there is a pandemic again. At least bring in a television that way they can communicate, the older people can communicate.
They've got to have a patient advocate with them
Yeah. 'Cause
somehow.
Yeah.
I agree, telehealth.
Telehealth.
Which might be more of an easier now that we have a different broadband system. We
Exactly.
could put telehealth in the care center
Yeah.
here, so that in cases of where they're locked down, that their people can be with them on
And
those
not
visits.
just restricted to health, but to family visits.
Great idea.
Because, yeah, so I don't know, next time you talk to her, maybe.
I wonder, certainly we can get hooked up to broadband really easy, but I wonder if we could find a grant that would get, the computers or whatever we have to do to set that up.
Yeah.
I bet we
Because they
could.
probably couldn't afford it otherwise, but
I bet we could find
I
something.
bet we could do something.
Where they had something set up on a rolling cart or something,
Mhm.
where like a big screen on a rolling cart, where you just pull it into the room and all your people can join you for those doctor's visits or anything,
Well,
or just regular visits.
Doctor visits are a little bit more private, so you'd want to do that, roll it into their, into their room. But for family visits,
Mhm.
and
Well, I
for
think you
other
can use it for both
activities-
though. You could have their person, their
Mhm.
guardian or whatever, their advocate,
Yeah.
and then for family visits, everybody
Yeah.
could get on it.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody could schedule one once a week, or
Yeah.
Well, I think if we have a medical center here, once we get that, that'll help.
That'll definitely help. But we're thinking of if they're on lockdown in a nursing home, at least have a way for them to communicate and see their family. And
on a big screen,
and-
not just a little phone.
family can be there when they're visiting their doctor, because I do know that that's really important.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into that a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's a
There's some bill 658, which is basically an anti-pharmacist bill, which they want to advertise the name of the pharmacist that gives them the drugs for the lethal injection. Our group was totally against that. They said that's a violation of privacy, and it basically is just go after your pharmacist bill. I was against that as well. I'm like, why would we want to do that?
That didn't go anywhere, did it? I don't think it went anywhere.
It passed the House.
It passed the House.
what bill is that?
658. It passed the House. It's in the Senate.
Oh, but isn't the bill to not give the name? I think the bill is to not give the name.
I hope I misunderstood that, because
Yeah,
if I did,
I-
that would be great.
I believe
Let's look
that's
that
what
up.
it is.
658. Because I thought that doesn't make any sense at all to
Yeah, I
give
think-
out their name.
Yeah,
That seems like
I'm pretty sure that it
Terrible.
The bill
Was
is
the
so
other
that
way?
they
Okay.
do not give out the name and to
Because the pharmacist can't
to maintain
prescribe.
the
Only the
anonymity of whoever.
oh, well, then that would be much better if
Yeah.
that's what it is.
And
I'll have to relook that up. I didn't take a very good note on that. I wrote something like anti-pharmacist bill lethal injections. That was my note. So. Okay. Education, they managed to get through that insurance for teachers. They're working on some hoops for that before they get it started, but she's happy.
Good.
There's a lot of support for that.
There is a
Yeah.
lot of support for that. Anyway, they're working on some hoops and how to get it done, but she said they'll get that done. The workforce housing bill was held and they are rewriting it. There was problems with the language, so they're rewriting that all. The homeowners' bills are both stuck right now, waiting to see what happens with this big tax bill. My concern is they don't think the big tax bill will be ready by the end of session, and then if we haven't addressed the other two homeowners' bills, we've done nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing.
So anyway, that was kind of a concern. There's a certain faction against using any of the ARPA funding that's coming to the state. And they were worried about that because there's all these millions for broadband and for infrastructure and roads and everything that's already been handed to the state, but whether we're allowed to spend it yet, it hasn't been proved. And they're kind of worried about this faction that are against the ARPA funds. Our representatives' thoughts on it was that we already have to pay taxes on that. It's already been approved for the federal government. We're going to pay it whether we take it or not, and they'll just give it out to another state
Absolutely.
if Idaho doesn't use theirs.
So the faction is they don't think that we ought to accept the
Yeah,
money?
we shouldn't spend it. Shouldn't accept it. And while they understood that in that if it was going to raise taxes and all that, but it's already done it. It's already been appropriated through the feds.
Yeah.
We already have to pay it back, whether we get, and so there was like, why, if Idaho already has to pay it back, we should use it to
Absolutely.
do our projects. which
Unless
I
there's
agree.
strings attached at the federal level that we don't know about.
So anyway, there was a
Oh.
certain faction there, so there was some questions on whether these programs were going to get through to all of us to be able to access. So we'll just be watching that. The teacher loan forgiveness program passed through the Senate into the House, but it only passed by like 1 or 2 votes. It was really tough to get through the Senate, and they don't know how it's going to be accepted in the House, and it's going to be tough to pass. But there is a bill out there for some teacher loan forgiveness programs, especially in hard to fill positions like science and math. Anyway, they were both for it. These guys were for it, but they said it was going to be real tough to get through. Well, that was about. They said the Rice bill was 70 pages long. The one with Bedke and Moyle and Rice and everything on the property tax was 70 pages long, and that was part of the problem, is that they're trying to reduce the language in there so that everybody can understand it and read it.
Yes.
And that was their fear, that it wouldn't get through for this year because it's too big. It would increase the grocery credit to $160 a person. And we've talked about, how you wouldn't pay any tax on your homeowners, but you would still pay tax on schools and bonds.
Yeah.
So it's basically how it went. It'd be funded through a sales tax raise.
Not crazy about that.
I have differing opinions on that. A little bit of worrisome on years if we didn't have the revenue. On the other hand, out-of-staters pay a lot of our sales tax. I have differing opinions on that.
And I think that's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
Is that.
They have plenty of money to run it for several years right now. That would be no problem. It would just be if something happened in the future and we stopped getting as much people buying here.
I'm not real happy with the way that they increase it with the homeowners. If they were to increase it by a percentage of like per capita and how many new homeowners you bring into the county, as opposed to county numbers. Because we all know Ada, Canyon, Kootenai, they're going to get the biggest chunk because they have people coming in groves.
But what
Where
about the
we
little
don't have that.
communities?
I mean, we've got tons of land, but it's not our land, it's BLM land. And so per capita would be the way to do it. But I believe when Seth was talking about it, they were talking numbers.
Well, and not every county gets tourism and other people
Exactly.
paying the larger.
Exactly, and it is the large counties looking out for the large counties, because these are all the people sponsoring it. Rice is from Canyon, one's from Kootenai, one's from from Ada. These are the ones that are putting this together. They're looking out. Moyle is
Depending
Canyon.
on how they write it, it could
Yes.
work, but it's really going to depend on how.
Yeah, because right now it's a number. If they do a percentage on the homeowners coming in, then it could be a big game changer for us.
It could.
Because
Huge.
when you compare the number of homeowners we have on a percentage level. If we
Oh, I
get,
see what you're
we
saying.
get 5 people,
Mhm,
Ada County may have to get 5,000 to
mhm.
make the same percentage.
Mhm.
So, but they said they were counting numbers.
So
not
let's wait
percentages.
and see on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just wanted
That's what
to,
scares me, is that we're gonna get left out in the increases because of us being a small rural county.
And having to rely on tourism and
Mhm.
people coming in to.
so we'll wait and see on how that one goes. There are some thoughts that it may not even go this year, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
All right.
the border counties with our neighbors to the west, why they're fighting a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
They are losing big time.
you know, and it really depends on where you are in Idaho. A lot of places in Idaho, there isn't anything to your border to go to, but there is a couple of counties that have an alternative.
Yeah.
Not very many, really, when you look at the map and you go through it. Up high, you've got Spokane, and so you could go
Yeah.
that direction, and then some of the lower bits, you've got Oregon. But most of it, if you look at the top and the other side and the bottom, there's really not.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying, that some of those border cities don't really have anything there anyway. People are already doing it. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't really change.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go into our next. I just forwarded you the original bill, and when I say this is the one where I said no, we've got to do this as a different conversation, and I crossed off the overages, and I changed the invoice. On this one. So down at the bottom, it is itemized out. That's what I thought it was itemized out originally.
1223. 1223 was that bill, Mr. Hubert.
Which one?
The one that shows the breakdown of the overages for ETS.
But we didn't do it on December. We did it in January. So we did it through maybe the 3rd, because
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this.
or the 26th. I'm not sure if we did it the 26th or the 3rd of.
I think we did the 3rd.
It could have been the 3rd. I'd have to look back on our minutes. Let me see if I can find it on our minutes.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on this, guys. I don't know if I was here, but that shouldn't deter anything. I don't ever remember seeing
Okay,
it.
hang on. I'll go back, see if I can.
Could be wrong.
Oh, I'm looking on the wrong year. So we had a meeting on the 27th. I'll look through that one really quick. Wasn't that one because it's not enough money. Let's go to the 3rd.
Okay. You did look on the 3rd? Or?
I'm looking right now. I've got it pulled up. It was the 27th that wasn't on because it was not enough money.
Oh, there we go. No, it wasn't on the 3rd.
It was on the 3rd. Let's go to the next one, 10th.
No, I don't have the 10 on here.
26,000. That's 15. When the heck did we pay this? The forward one.
There's the agenda.
Oh my gosh.
Commissioner's agenda. There's the minutes, February 7th.
Let me just call Sandy really quick and see when she got the check.
Oh, that's gonna drive me crazy.
Sandy, will you look really quick and see when you cut the check to ETS for the grant funding? So that would have been like $1 million+.
Was that for